Given this intensified violence, more than 35,000 killings in the past 5 years since President Calderon declared this war, an increase in spillover crime into the United States, I believe it is time the United States take decisive steps to end this war just south of our border. We are spending billions of dollars halfway across the world, and we talk about Libya in the press, and yet we have a threat just south of our border, right in our own backyard. We need to step up to the plate. President Calderon should be praised for his efforts to eradicate these cartels. When Congressman Henry Cuellar and I met with him in Mexico City in 2008, he told us that security was his highest priority. He boldly declared war against the narco-terrorists that were infiltrating his military and local police forces. In 2008, Congress passed the Mérida Initiative, directing $1.3 billion in resources to help the Mexican government fight these cartels. Unfortunately, to date, only 1/4 of that amount, over 2 years since that bill passed, only 1/4 has been directed, and the violence in Mexico is only getting worse. And in my judgment, the Mexicans are losing this war, and so are we. The violence is no longer limited to the drug trade. Cartels are disrupting basic services and expanding their criminal enterprises. Mexico, in my judgment, is in danger of becoming a failed state controlled by criminals. If this happens, Mexico could become a safe haven for terrorists who we know are attempting to enter the United States through our porous border. In the interest of national security and in trade with our third largest partner and our rich cultural ties with Mexico, we cannot afford for this to happen. Failure is not an option. Our hearing today will do the following: review the accomplishments of the Mexican government's war against the drug cartels, examine the U.S. role in the war, determine the implications for Homeland Security, determine what future actions the United States needs to take assisting Mexico to win this war. In essence, I want to know from these witnesses here today, what is our plan? What is our strategy in dealing with Mexico? What is the plan to assist Mexico, our neighbor to the south, to help them win this important war? In my judgment, we should explore a joint military and intelligence operation with Mexico, similar to the 1999 plan in Colombia, which succeeded in undermining that country's cocaine trade, disrupting its cartels, and restoring its economic and national security. In addition, I've introduced legislation requiring the State Department to classify drug cartels as foreign terror organizations as a means to limit the group's financial, property, and travel interests. This designation would bring separate charges against anyone providing material support or resources to FTOs. It would provide an additional penalty of up to 15 years in prison and a fine. And it would authorize the deportation of any foreign member of a foreign terrorist organization from the United States, even if they're in this country legally. It would also require banks to freeze any funds tied to foreign terrorist organizations. Cartels kidnap, kill, and mutilate innocent civilians, elected officials, and law enforcement officers. They use gruesome tactics, and I've seen many of the videos and the pictures, and they are so gruesome and so violent and so graphic that we could not show those pictures at this committee hearing today. These tactics intimidate government officials and citizens. They torture, they use beheadings, they dismember and mutilate. And while not driven by religious ideology, Mexican drug cartels operate in the same manner as Al-Qaeda, the Taliban, or Hezbollah, each sharing a desire in using similar tactics to gain political and economic influence. These are acts of terrorism. Black's Law defines terrorism as activity that appears to be intended to intimidate or coerce a civilian population, to influence the policy of a government by intimidation or coercion, and to affect the conduct of a government by assassination or kidnapping. In my judgment, the drug cartels fall squarely within this definition.